Hey gang, it's MGTOW Dad. Hope all is going well with you and happy Thanksgiving. I'm writing this part in after, and it's ironic now that I'm reading it in context and with the starting lines of the actual notes I have, but off we go. I have no one for the most part. Now, I have my three kiddos, but the fact is that some topics can't be discussed with kids for a myriad of reasons, ethically and morally speaking, and in terms of comprehension, those all being foremost among them. If you're smart, you'll understand that, and I'm not going to go on and beat it up. But I kind of have my sister to a degree sometimes, but there are issues there with just stuff we had from when, for example, when my mom passed, and just issues in general that complicate things. But in it, so what complicates it more is in that in and of itself presents a situation that I can't talk to anybody about because I can't talk to her about herself. It just because it's kind of biased. But her and I did talk about what I'm just kind of calling and lumping together as confrontation and provocation. See, as a MGTOW and a general loner, but a contrarian just by nature, I don't mesh well with people. Socially and superficially, I'm fine. It's when people find out how many provocative and contrary positions, I guess, I have, and that makes me undesirable. And I'm definitely not swimming in the mainstream. That's why I tend not to lead with those things or get into those topics because I know what the end result is going to be. But I seek confrontation. I often kind of subconsciously refer to myself as a catalyst, but those words, especially confrontation, they have negative stigmas. So I want to unpack that and explain it in the context that I'm using it when I talk about being confrontational and a confrontational person. If I have an idea in my head, how do I know it's right or just or sound? I can think about it over and over in my head. I can go over the same formulas and the same mechanics. I can run the same tests. I can put it through the same quality assurance techniques, I guess, that I know. I can, again, if I'm running it through these same systems that I've ran them through, and those are all the systems and techniques that I know, there's not going to be any further testing, any further stress on the system. What if there are different systems and tests and standards and formulas and mechanics that I just don't know about? At that point, I guess there's, generally speaking, three outcomes. I just continue thinking I'm right. I remain in that little microcosmic bubble, and I just go on knowing I'm right. Or I take myself out and I seek confrontation. I see how this concept could be wrong, flawed, inefficient. I could make it better and cheaper, maybe. But you have to admit you were, shall we say, wrong, inept. Did you fail? And no, you didn't fail unless you fail to learn, grow, or adapt, or learn those lessons that we just mentioned. The third option is you meet someone like me, someone who seeks out confrontation and provokes you via conversation. This is why I say I'm a confrontationalist. I ask people things, I challenge them. I ask them, what do you mean by this? I will ask them, how do you know that? Or what is your source? Then I'll offer, did you know about this? Or can I share this information with you? That's the beauty of challenging others and provoking them. You challenge yourself. In that moment that you challenge that person to any degree, as it's not always about right or wrong. Sometimes it's degrees of fact, nuance. Sometimes you can be debating perspective, personal views, personal experiences, and what they mean, and other things like that. But it's always about taking the time to explain your personal views and perspectives, but the other taking the time to listen to them with honesty. So while you challenge them, they in turn can expose you. They can expose your flaws in your own arguments, your lack of logic or flawed reasoning, thoughtlessness on your own part, biases. Now, you don't have to change your mind when experiencing that. You can think and reflect and cement that, take different thought processes. And again, because you're not even exposed to this until you're challenged by another. And it can get brought up by challenging them. And you would not be able to be exposed to that if you didn't risk being uncomfortable or dejected based on the outcome. That's the risk. There's a statement from Maynard James Keenan. It's so simple and beautiful. And again, it's why I talk about the importance of unpacking things and not just saying them like they're a bumper sticker. Provocation is a virtue. The more you find the strength to challenge others, the more we all grow.